What's going on, guys? It's Groove back again with Bitcoin, everything divided by 21 million. And in this chapter, we're going to be going over memetics. Now, you may be wondering, what is memetics? So memetics is just the study of memes and understanding how ideas can spread like viruses. And this is what it's trying to say. It's like Bitcoin is kind of like a mind virus, and this is how it's spreading. It's spreading just like memes. So he starts out by saying, when knowing is owning, the line is blurred between you and your Bitcoin. When you know the 12 to 24 words to your Bitcoin, you then become your Bitcoin. Because if you lose those private keys, you lose the access to the Bitcoin. In other words, if the only place that your Bitcoin key resides is in your head, you then now become your Bitcoin. You know, when you really understand this, it's kind of crazy. Like, for the first time, when you know something, you own it. And when you own something, you know you own it. Like, you can't say that with anything else. Like, if you get a house, somebody can take the house. If you get a car, somebody can take your car. The money in your bank can be frozen. If you buy another cryptocurrency, all the other cryptocurrencies are controlled by a person. It's a company. If they want to shut it down, they can shut it down. If the government tells them to stop it or halt transactions, they got to do that. Like, this is the first time when you can have something that cannot be taken from you and cannot be stopped. It's kind of profound when you really think about it. This is the first time when all of your wealth, all of your value, all of your time, all of your energy, because that's all it is. When we go out into the world, we're expending energy, doing things, creating things, going to work. All of that can be stored into yourself now. You know, that can't be taken from you. You and your Bitcoin are in a symbiotic relationship. That bond only grows stronger over time. Your Bitcoin can't live without you. And if we go down this path that we're going down and we go into a hyper-Bitcoinization world, then you won't be able to survive without Bitcoin in that new world. And it's kind of funny when, you know, you think about the symbiotic relationship. I kind of think about that movie with Spider-Man where he's trying to take that suit off of him and it keeps attaching back to him. Like, that's what owning Bitcoin or having the private keys to your own Bitcoin is like. When you become your Bitcoin, it can't detach from you without you sending it to somebody else. It is attached to you forever, whether you lose it or not. It's yours and you're stuck with it. And I love that about Bitcoin. Like, you cannot take it from me. If all the Bitcoin was split evenly amongst every person on this planet, everybody would have 263,000 Satoshis. But again, everybody's net worth is never going to be the same, especially when you have institutions like BlackRock buying it up, Michael Saylor and his company's buying it up, other companies are buying it up, El Salvador is mining with their volcano, the Kingdom of Bhutan is mining with their hydro dam, I'm buying it up every time I get paid, and so on and so forth. It will never be even. Everybody, you know, if you want to get some, there's not that much left. Blockchain data suggests that 5 million coins have been lost, and even more coins are continuously being locked up for over 5 years. So people aren't spending it right now. People are just holding on to this. So people are really underestimating the amount of Satoshis that are even left out there for the regular person to even get their hands on. And he talks about how eventually there will be a sat squeeze and where the price just goes parabolic. It's not just going to continuously just click up little by little year after year. Bitcoin is a wealth distributing machine. The amount of wallets and addresses that have thousands of Bitcoin are shrinking, while the ones that have less than one are growing. Over time, these people that again hold less than one Bitcoin, those coins will just become more valuable over time. You know, I used to watch podcasts and people would be like, oh, everybody needs to get 20 coins, get to 30 coins. And now that turned into, hey, get to 5 coins, get to 6 coins, get to 7. Now people are talking about, you know, if you listen to British Hodl, he will say, get to 1 or die trying. And other podcasters, that number just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. Get to a quarter of a coin. Just get to 0.1, which is 10 million Satoshis, and you'll be fine in the future. Now, again, that doesn't mean like you'll have Lambos and yachts or whatever, but you'll be able to retire. You will have savings in your retirement account. You know, it's funny, I was just looking up the amount of money people have in a 401k. The average 65-year-old only has $272,000 in their 401k. That's nothing. $250,000, that's nothing. And so if you can just get to, you know, 1 million Satoshis, 5 million Satoshis, 10 million Satoshis, and just hold on to that for the next 10, 15, 20 years, if Bitcoin continuously does what it does, you're going to be way more you'll have way more than that $272,000 that, the average 65-year-old today has. Again, you got to get this stuff now if you're going to get in, because it's just going to get even more expensive. You got to really look into this stuff. You got to really study. The world is coming down on this thing. Institutions, banks, like, you got to get yours while you can get yours, because there's not that much left of it. He also talks about how the fiat currency that we use today is also a meme. Going back to that study of memetics, people less than 200 years ago were using gold coins. Then the bank said, hey, all these people, instead of continuously taking out or putting in gold coins, we can just use this paper instead. And that idea spread, and now that's all we use today. And most people don't even use that. They're using their credit cards or their Apple Pay or whatever, paying with their cell phone. But even the dollars that we use today that most people are used to was a meme. That started out as a mind virus that just spread. The only thing that's stopping Bitcoin from becoming a world reserve currency is just people's understanding of it. Again, because this virus hasn't spread as far as it has. I mean, we're only 15 years in. When people realize that Bitcoin is better than what they're working for right now. Like, we're all working for dollars that just get debased, and they just become less and less and less. So every year you got to make more dollars to get the same house, or to get the same groceries, or the same car. When people realize this, they will sit there and say, why am I saving my money in this? Why am I not, working for the superior money, which is Bitcoin? But again, that virus hasn't spread yet. It's still very early in the life of Bitcoin. As this hyper Bitcoinization world evolves, as people start to understand this mind virus of Bitcoin, some jurisdictions will try to ban it. But again, Bitcoin is just mathematics. It's just communication. It's just sending one transaction to another person. And so you can't ban math. You can't ban communication. Like, you can't sit there and say, we're no longer using the number 5. Like, and that is what it's like trying to ban Bitcoin. You cannot ban it. All exchanges between people is just communication, and all communication is just trading. And so, in order for society to have freedom of expression, we must be able to have free trade with each other. And so this is why property rights are so important. You can't stop somebody from communicating with other people. Freedom of expression must include every non-violent way of communicating. And again, Bitcoin is just information. That's all it is. And I have my information, and I'm sending somebody else information. And so if your country is trying to ban you from buying Bitcoin or sending Bitcoin to any other person, it just shows you what kind of country you live in. Like, are we really free? It really makes you think, like, you got to question what your country is trying to do. Again, if they're just trying to ban Bitcoin, like, you should be able to buy and send and communicate with whatever. Like, if you want to put your money into Beanie Babies, you should be able to do that. And that's pretty much it for this chapter. I really like this chapter, talking about memetics and how Bitcoin is it's growing like a mind virus, like a meme is when it just gets passed through other people, person to person to person. Maybe it's just because I'm living in this little bubble, but I see Bitcoin growing like crazy. Like, the mind virus is growing. I used to, like an idiot, I used to be trading this thing back and forth. Oh, I'm going to put some money into Bitcoin, and then the price is going to go up, and then I'll take it out. Now I have some dollars, and yay, hey, like I did it, I won. But now I'm just like, oh my God, thinking about how much I would have had. But again, I see more people now are like, wait a minute, hold up. These companies are buying and they're never going to sell it. These banks are buying and they're never going to sell it. These institutions are buying and they're never going to sell it. These countries are mining it and they're never going to sell it. Maybe I need to hold on to this. And more people are waking up to this, and more people are buying it and holding it in their own custody, and they're not selling it. When you think about that, when you think about Bitcoin being a mind virus, it is really spreading really fast. And so yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in that next one. Peace.